Welcome back to the glorious People's Republic of Rome. When we left off, we had finally taken some land outside of Rome, and I've set up a nation here, a sister republic, the Republic of Agisymba. I actually spent a long time looking up what I should call a nation that inhabits this area, and I found one case of a Roman explorer exploring in this area around Lake Chad. And that's what they named the kingdom there. So we've decided to steal that name. I'm not sure I like it, but we're going to use it anyway. Maybe I'll just call them Agi. So we've made our little Republic of Agi down here. They don't really have anything going for them. Of course, they share our religion and our culture. I decided to let them keep their generic flag because I couldn't decide on a flag that I should apply to them. I was thinking of giving them the exact same flag as us, but I decided to just let the AI generate one, which I quite like this striped blue one. They're a little rebellious right now, but we're going to fix that just by supporting loyalists in the country. We'll probably never stop supporting them. Nice and easy, right? As discussed, if we take any land in this area, we'll give it to them. I was thinking maybe we should set up nations by subcontinent. So we could have a West African nation, then an East African, potentially. We'll see how things go. For now, I was thinking of what our first moves were going to be. I was thinking I want to go back to war with Morocco because we were interrupted last time by the French attacking us. But I think instead we're actually going to attack Castile. We could attack them like this and bring in mainly just Castile, but you can bring in Aragon and Portugal as well, which gives us some opportunities to take some bites out of them too. The game says we're slightly stronger, but I think we're a lot stronger because a lot of this army that Castile has is, of course, levies. And levies, you know, their time's kind of over. We're also creating the 5th People's Legion up over here in Sicily, and they'll be online in a little bit. So I think we're just going to go. It's going to cost us quite a bit of stability because we're doing a no-CB war. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's send our legions over. We're, of course, continuing to explore the New World. I'd really like to see what the New World actually looks like this episode. I'm curious to what who's colonized the Caribbean and who's colonized around here. Kind of looks like there's a French colony here. Maybe they've got all of this land. I suppose we'll see. Just going to put all my navies into dock. It's funny, when we go to war, you can actually see our economy kind of go down because our maritime presence starts to decrease because all of our ships are in dock, which leads to a drop in maritime presence, which leads to a drop in control. So the longer we fight wars, the worse it becomes for us economically, which is kind of funny, I guess, and not at all inaccurate for real war. So we'll just let our armies get into position, and I think then we'll attack Castile. Hopefully nothing untoward happens in the time it takes our armies to walk over. I probably should start demolishing a lot of these forts, but I'm keeping them around because I feel insecure without them. Because since it is just me, and I don't have any allies, and I only have this one vassal now, I feel insecure going to war because without the forts, because I feel like in any situation where we take a big loss or we get pushed back, I kind of want the forts to be there as just to slow the enemy down, but surely that's just me being a bit cowardly. Alright, we're in position. Let's declare war. Should we raise our levies? Do we even need them? I don't think we need them. It might be nice to have them just to deal with some of the more spread out countries. Who's actually in? It's mainly just Burgundy and Upper Bavaria who's to our back. So I think we could probably do without calling up the levies. We'll see how it goes. There's a small French vassal here who's decided to join in the war. I think we'll try and full annex them. No reason not to. I saw some people mentioning earlier, I think on the subreddit for this game, obviously, that they weren't aware that you could increase, but by increasing spy networks in provinces, you actually increase your the siege ticks. But yes, you do increase siege ticks by having spy networks in countries. It makes it easier to siege down locations. It's the same in EU4. Which is why I was surprised why people weren't aware of it. In EU4, bigger spy networks lead to faster sieging. We also have the option of becoming an empire now. We just need to get our prestige up. And getting prestige up to 70 is actually pretty hard as a republic. As a monarchy, you can always just marry off your various relatives, which will quickly and easily give you a lot of prestige. But you can't really do that as a republic. I mean, you could if we were a different kind of republic and actually had like a royal family, but we don't. Even our ruler isn't a part of our crown estate. Our crown estate is empty. There goes the French vassal. I suppose we'll have him revoke his cause on stuff, not that it really matters. Goodbye. If we check down, we'll see our little ally has been fully occupied. Not really surprising. Here we have the provoked military force empire. They seem to be rebel. The 21st provoked military forces civil war against Mali. Oh dear, oh dear. Unfortunately, we just lost our great power status. It dipped down below the required amount, so we're no longer the military hegemony, so we can't get the extra war score cost. How disappointing. We're going to expand a bit in this war, though, so hopefully that will help us maintain our status as the military hegemony going forward. Upper Bavaria is willing to peace out, just from us occupying their capital, so that's nice. We don't really want to fight them. We can't really take any of their land because they don't border us, so best just get them out of the war as quickly as possible. One of the hardest things about EU5 is telling where exactly a fort is. Like, where is this fort located? It's located in this province, I think. It's hard to see, though. I really wish forts actually appeared just in the province they're supposed to be in, instead of just being kind of all over the place on the map. Burgundy wants to leave the war. I think we're going to take something a little like this. Oh, it'd be nice if I could get this location as well as these. Well, we could. We're very close. Problem is this would leave them fractured because it would cut off these things. You're probably wondering why I'm not going to bother taking this. Because I'm thinking, you know, it's better to take Burgundy's core land to weaken them. And kind of because we don't want France to expand in and take it. So better to weaken Burgundy in its French borders. Maybe it'd be better if we go for something like this, but we couldn't afford it cost-wise. I guess we could... whatever. We'll just grab these two provinces, I think, and then peace out. With Aragon, we're not going to get too greedy. We're going to take the 1 or 2 locations they have in France, then we'll take this bordering province, and we'll take the little bit of this province they still control. Nice and easy. Got to get those neat borders going after all. I'm not quite sure what to do with Portugal peace treaty-wise, since we don't really border them. The question is, will we be able to take enough from Castile to border them? I know something crazy. I don't think so. That makes me hesitant to take any land from Portugal because it will be cut off and it'll be annoying trying to get over to it. So I think what we're going to do is force them to... They're not actually allied with Castile anymore. They must have broken the alliance after we declared war. How odd. But what we're going to do, I think, is take some of their lands outside. For example, these locations. We could also then grab these locations they have down here. They're not going to accept that though. Even though we full occupied their country, because their sieging stuff down makes them a little more confident. Is this considered Rome? No, these locations are not considered Rome, the Canary Isles. But the Canary Isles are in North Africa, so maybe we'll keep them for ourselves. I think we will keep them for ourselves, even though it's not considered part of Rome. Then I guess we won't do anything more, we'll just take a bunch of money from them, 2,000 gold. Sounds good. Now, how do we solve a problem like Castile? I suppose we'll just take as much as we can. Could we grab this much? I don't think we'll be able to decrease it much. We're already occupying all these locations. I guess we don't need to take this little bit of Zaragoza. If we take just these 4 locations, or 4 provinces. It'd be also nice if we could grab some land down south. Oh, we can grab some. We can grab this extra province that we can then give to our new friends. Agi. So I think we'll do that. Then we'll slip down to you and say, here you go, do your best. Now let's gather everybody, head home for a little bit, and then we'll rest. Then we'll think about our next move. Our next move is probably going to be attacking Morocco again. Last time our war with Morocco was interrupted by the French attacking us. So I think we'll probably go for them and correct that slight annoyance. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have another Catholic revolt. This one's going to have 11 million people in, which is basically half our country. Shouldn't be too big of a deal though. When you think about it, we are actually converting people quite fast. Nearly 30% of our country is already Lollard, with only 45% remaining Catholic. Problem is, as we keep expanding, we keep absorbing more Catholics. In unrelated news, Corsican has almost been completely eradicated, which I'm not sure is a good thing, but at the very least it might mean no Napoleon. There's less than 100,000 Corsicans left in the world, and they're still being converted pretty steadily, though at a slow rate, to our Median culture. Also, we've done it. We've managed to increase Rome to 1 million pop location. Isn't it beautiful? Exactly 1 million. Nearly all of them are Median, although quite a few of them aren't Lollards. There's around 200, nearly 300,000 Lutherans, or Protestants, and around 160,000 Catholics. They're being steadily converted though. We're back to being a great power. Unfortunately, Ming has again expanded their military and surpassed us. I think we'll think about expanding our military once we deal with the rebellion that are coming up. Another thing of note is we're not doing too good on the manpower front. I did assault a lot of forts, to be fair, in that war with Castile, because we've reached the point where assaulting forts is pretty easy and good, so there's no reason not to do it really, except for our low manpower. Dear God, we've discovered what's going on in the Caribbean, and what I least expected, there is a Bulgarian colony here in the Caribbean. It looks like they might control all of it. Really? How? What are you guys doing? Letting the Bulgarians take the Caribbean? France? Spain? Portugal? What on earth? Why? I doubt having this colony benefits them much, but just why? We'll never know why. Instead, we're now going to deal with a revolt. We could actually start founding our own colonies in the Congo for now. I think we'll start doing so. And I see some Roman colonies around, right? The coalition amongst it all has decided to strike at us. This is a pretty strong coalition, actually. It's got France. Does it have France? No, I guess France did join the coalition. They must have just left at some point. But it's Aragon, Castile, Burgundy, Austria, Venice. Not actually that strong. I thought it did have France, but it didn't. So I guess it's not a big deal. It's also led by Genoa, who's only a one province minor at this point. So honestly, the war should end pretty quickly if we just siege down Genoa's only province. He'll probably be willing to make peace. There goes the coalition. They agreed to a white peace. Simple enough there. I think we're going to try and destroy Genoa though. I don't really like that they continue to exist. I don't really want to waste 20 stability declaring war on them though. So we are going to create a spy network. We'll probably create the heretic casus belli on them, just because it won't be such a big deal not having a lot of war score against such a small nation, or not having to spend so much, having the war score cost for provinces be so low. So we'll get that done. We're going to make preparations for the end of this civil war, and so we can finally attack Morocco, something I've been wanting to do since I started recording. Well, to be honest though, I never really want to stop attacking Morocco. Attacking Morocco is always on my mind. It looks like one of our rebellion has had a rebellion against it by these two locations. Both of them are vassals. Well, no, one of them is vassals of Castile, though. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I suppose we'll see if these guys ever actually surrender. But Castile is now in the war and is occupying land. We ourselves might be drawn into a war with Castile. All those provinces will just become independent or become vassals of Castile. I guess we'll find out. I'm pretty curious. There we go, the rebels surrendered. It looks like these guys remained independent from the rebels, and us, by extension. How annoying. Oh well. We could just go to war with them. Navarra, for example, we could grab a religious CB on them, I think. Instead, what we're going to do is nip across and have a cheeky war with Morocco. It's too bad Mali's going to join. They're pretty close to not accepting the war, but whatever. Too bad. We'll draw them in. Mali's currently at war with Great Britain, so there's a good chance they might just peace out not long after the war begins. The presence of Aragon and Great Britain in this war is definitely an annoyance. To be fair though, when's it not an annoyance, the existence of such countries? We'll just have to deal with it. There's our war with Morocco. We're going to take this. I think we're going to avoid taking land for their vassals because there's potential for the vassals to break off and become independent. Also because they're internal. I'd really like to take land that borders the sea and will stop Aragon, Spain, taking more land from the Moroccans, if possible. Now there we go, big name on the map. We'll go home. We're about a year out from the next age happening. Have we seen any more of the New World? Not really. Is that also Bulgaria? It is. God damn it. Maybe Bulgaria's everywhere. Oh, well, there's Portugal. Or their vice-royalty, at least. Here we go. The age of absolutionism has come. Now, what are we going to pick between our three options? The administrative focus gives us pop conversion speed, minus to proximity distance, to proximity cost, monthly development. It's a monthly colonial growth, which I guess could be nice. Humanism for that extra 10% literacy. Absolutely delicious. And a 2.5 increase to estate satisfaction. All very nice. Diplomatic, on the other hand, gives 25 opinion to subjects. That's not that good. It could be nice if that was just loyalty, but no. State propaganda reducing antagonism by 20% is pretty great, but we've gone far past the point where reducing antagonism is a thing, I think. The mill focus can give us some discipline, 5, as well as some increase to artillery power and a 10% increase to manpower. That would be pretty nice for us. So I think we're going to go admin, as we normally do. Because we've reached absolutionism, everyone gets new flags as well. France gets this white flag, Britain gets its normal flag. I think they might have already had that one though. Castile I don't think has changed. Aragon gets this white flag though, and Portugal I think gets this flag. Hungary, I think they've changed to a slightly worse version of their flag. It's now got the Austrian flag in it for some reason. Bulgaria looks like it's the same, Serbia's the same. Ottomans have this now 3 crescent flag. They might have had that before though, I wasn't really paying attention. Was Mamluks' crescent always backwards? Something curious is going on in Poland. Not sure how this guy became king. He's not a descendant of the previous monarchs. Look at those stats though. 194, 100? His mother was a courier of Poland. I'm not sure what relation that has to the previous ruler. Did he take the throne? Was it violent? Was he a pretender? Did he take the throne violently? I don't know. Perhaps it's best if we don't think about it. Now the Columbian Exchange has triggered and we can start bringing in goods from the old New World back to the Old World and vice versa. I'd like to spread a good to Rome to replace its not so good wheat. The real question is between chili and tobacco, which is more appropriate to be grown in Rome? Maybe chili. Chili in Rome sounds a little more accurate. Tobacco isn't worth as much as chili as well for some reason. So let's do it. We'll chili max. There we go. It did delete all of the wheat RGOs we had, but that's a small price to pay for this delicious chili RGO. Well, the annoying things about absolutionism is manufacturing rarely spawns, because countries rarely do what they need to do to get manufacturing to spawn, which is have a city in Europe, North Africa with 20,000 burgers, 80 buildings, and have their capital versus traditional economy 30 towards capital. I don't think anyone really does that. There's a way for me to check. Yeah, we can check societal values. If we look at England, they're 40 towards traditional. If we look at France, they're 90 towards traditional. If you look at Spain or Castile even, they're 70 towards traditional. Aragon's 80 towards traditional. Portugal's 70 towards traditional. No one goes capital economy, or at least the AI doesn't. So really it feels like we have to do it, but I don't think we want to do it just because, you know, traditional economy is the economy of the people. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably spawn manufacturing using the console. I've had quite a few games, or well, quite a few, like 2 or 3, where manufacturing just never spawns. And if manufacturing never spawns, then industrialization is never going to spawn either, because it has basically the same criteria but more buildings, which is unfortunate because we want those things to spawn. We want railroads and other such cool things, right? There comes the military revolution. It spawned in Krakow. Too bad it didn't spawn in us. We were quite likely on the list of people it could spawn in. What about the scientific revolution? It's most of the provinces it's likely to spawn in are ours, which isn't really surprising. Surely Rome should be the headquarters of the scientific revolution. One of our colonies is finished in Africa, I believe? Yes. South Africa is quite a ways away from our Central African nation. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep this land for ourselves, and then we'll release it and create another sister republic in South Africa. There goes the war. Now I need to think of what exactly I'm going to call this republic down here in South Africa. There probably isn't an ancient Roman name for the place. If you have a good name for a South African People's Republic, be sure to let me know. For now though, we're going to leave the video here. We're going to vote though. What are we going to vote on? We're going to have a vote on liberalism versus absolutionism. Which should our republic go for? There's arguments to be made for both. An absolutionist country will focus more on the central authority of its ruler while reigning in the power of the different estates, while a liberal country will emphasize the importance of civil liberties and legislative governing bodies. There's benefits to both. Absolutionism synergizes quite well with centralization, which we have been going for, and it also strengthens our crown power while reducing the threshold for pops to join rebellions, which would definitely help. And since we as a People's Republic don't have many sources of crown power, it'd be nice to get some here, but it does make the estates a little unhappier. On the flip side, we have liberalism. This makes pops a little more willing to join rebellions, but gives the estates a +5 to their satisfaction and increases our cultural capacity by 20%, so we'll be able to accept more culture and therefore reduce rebellions that way. Then we get a -10% cost to making requests to the parliament to do things like pass laws, or raise extra levies or raise taxes. Let me know what you think. As I said, I think either could be applicable. I don't actually have a preference here, so choose whatever you want to choose. For now though, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.